horse. Their families decided to take him off of the machine. They decided as a family last week to take him off, and he passed away on Sunday. So we are taking donations for those of you. She has spent a gob of money driving back and forth to Oak City or Oklahoma every week, sometimes several times a week. I haven't heard any final arrangements yet, but when we hear those, we'll pass them along to you. She just asked for us to say something to you guys because she knows you guys and how much everybody loves each other around here. She appreciates and knows that you're thinking about her, but she just would rather not talk about it. So if you see her, you know, you can say hi or whatever, just don't smother her. She's not ready. But she wants to come back to work. She needs the normality. She needs to be here. She wants to be here. Just give her her space. That's all she asks. You know, give her a friendly wave, but just let her have her space if you would. She is going to come in a little bit later. I've heard this morning, so let's just kind of be respectful of that. Second thing I don't have, and I'm hoping to cover just in a little bit, but if I don't, I'm going to make sure I cover it now. There is not going to be any overtime this year. We have hired something like 15 or 20 extra people in the last 6 months. So we are fully staffed, and in order to be able to pay for those to be fully staffed, so that my staff doesn't have to drive every day, so that we're where we need to be, we need to cut down on the overtime that we've had in the past. So that overtime is helping us pay for all the new staff. So just understand that the overtime, there's going to be overtime, it happens. We're gonna get a trip on Friday afternoon that we didn't know about that's gonna be 8 or 9 hours on Saturday, and you're gonna end up with overtime. It happens. It's the nature of the beast, but we're not planning on any overtime. Just so everybody's clear on that up front. Okay, and you all got raises. I don't know if you've seen that or not. I don't know how much, don't ask me, I don't see those numbers, but.
Does
All right.
that include the paras? Does that include the paras?
Everybody got raises.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So May South High and Vermillion brought over our breakfast for us. They're the ones that provided the pizzas. We're gonna let Tony and Tammy talk first. That's you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Buenos dias.
When is DS going in?
For you guys new, I probably hired all of you this summer, so welcome you to Mays. If you guys don't know, I'm one of the assistant directors, the junior assistant director at Mays. Chris is the senior assistant director. My job duties here, they're going to go over, but to give you quickly, is I'm the student discipline coordinator. So that's one of my main jobs here. If you got a problem with a student, you're going to write them up. If the problem persists, I'm going to kick them off. Okay, and the write-ups, you guys have to talk to your parents. You have to talk to them. Text them, email them, or talk to them on the phone. To me, the best thing is talking on the phone. It's uncomfortable, but once they get to know that you're not a bad person, you're just doing your job, parents tend to cool it. If there's a suspension coming, I'll do it. That's the hard part. So I'll talk to that parent. You don't have to get involved in that. Just let me know what happened. So let me move on to the next thing. Next thing is, guys, please, you know, and I talked about this yesterday, is, you know, I come from the government. I'm sorry. 28 years with the federal government as a federal agent. So we were real big on chain of command. In the civilian world, I know it's a little different, but if you guys can, please, please, please follow the chain of command. If it's something student related, I also do, you know, the employee hiring. Unfortunately, I do most of the employee discipline as well. If it comes to a firing, Kathy will be involved in that. But if there's some type of discipline for employees, I'm the one that does it, so we don't bug Kathy with it, because Kathy's got a lot of things to do. So if it's something that nature, that your manager para, it's going to happen. Your manager driver, it's going to happen. Your manager teacher, a school para, a principal, those things, they're going to happen. So if that happens, bring it to me. Bring it to me, guys, and I'll help you as much as I can. And I'm going to talk about that toward the end here. But please try to follow chain of command. If you need stuff with the techie stuff, Chris is amazing at the techie stuff. I don't know crap about tech stuff. Don't ask me about your key fobs, I don't even know how to spell fobs. So. Another big thing is keep your buses clean, guys. Keep them clean. Last year, buses were pretty bad, and I'll give you an example. Was, you know, a driver tells me that the seat is torn, right? Someone tore into a seat. Okay, when did it happen? Well, I check my bus every day. It had to have happened last night. I must have missed last night. So I get on the video. Each bus, the small buses have 3 cameras, the big buses have 5. So I get on video and I look and I zoom in on that seat, and that tear was there. Went to the morning, tear was there. Followed previous day, tear was there. 2 weeks back, that tear was still there. So it was never checked, right? Maybe it was checked. It was never seen, let's just say. So if you can tell me right away, it's so much easier, because if somebody tears one of your chairs, I'm taking them off your bus, all right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it, they're coming off the bus. So if you guys can keep the gum off the floors, you know, and just try to keep your buses clean, that'll help big time. Guys, remember something, you know, I don't mean to sound mean, but remember, over the summer I hired 23 new employees. A lot of them are CDO drivers. I hired some SPED drivers. I hired some paras. So if it becomes a problem where you think you're above our department, you think you're above the team here, then I'll find a team member that can do that job. Okay? And then you'll end up being a sub, and that'll be another monster that you don't want to deal with. Guys, don't cuss at your kids. Don't do it. Gosh darn it. Don't do it. We had it last year. It happened a couple of times. The driver didn't even know he did it. Look on the super awesome cameras that Kathy bought us. You know, $500,000 in cameras. Guess what? They work real good. And the driver didn't even know that he did it. And he did. But you can just imagine the call with the parent, because the kid goes home crying. Why is Johnny crying? Well, the driver told me this, right? So try not to. Guys, use words. You guys are SPED program drivers, and parents, you guys are really good. So, but, you know, keep it down, settle down, sit down. You guys know how to use your words. Just don't cuss, please, 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 please. All right, super important, because this happened a couple of times last year with the SPED buses. If you guys get into an accident, no matter how minor you think it is, call me. Call me on the radio. If you're embarrassed because I should have known better, or I can't believe I did that, call my cell phone. If you don't have my cell phone in your phone, please put my cell phone in there. I don't care if it's, you know, 2 in the morning, 3 in the, I don't care. Call me. My cell phone is always with me, except right now. Most of the time. But call, guys. I will, and some of you know this, I will come out to the scene. I will do all your paperwork. I will take all your pictures. I will talk to the cops, okay? We need seating charts on SPED buses. Seating charts, super duper important. Make sure you have them, because we had a couple accidents last year with big buses. I try to beat the cops there. Cops show up, hey Tony, what's going on? Hey, not much, man, we're trying to clear this up. I need your seating chart, okay? That's a state policy. It's not something we're trying to be mean to make you guys have more work. Make sure you have a seating chart for your kids, please. That you'll get in big trouble if you don't have it. I know, guys, you have to understand that in previous years, it was tough because, listen, I was on that side with the drivers, right? And we got away with more things because we didn't have enough. We couldn't do anything about it. So people walked around, well, they can't do anything to me because we don't have enough drivers. We have enough employees this year. So all we're asking is you don't want to go above and beyond your work. It's okay, but do your work, all right? And do it right, please. Please, please, please. Another thing, guys, is if you have an accident, it gets exciting. Your peripheral vision narrows down. You're going to be here, okay? Don't admit fault. Don't admit fault. Don't talk to anybody. Don't tell the person that hit you or you hit them, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I didn't see you. Because I get it. You want to kind of ease the situation out. Just don't. Hey, you know what? One of the junior assistant director's coming out, so he can take care of this, right? So don't admit fault, Ferdinand, please. I will get you, if there is an accident, I will get you another driver, another bus, and so we can get your kids on the way home, because you will have to stay there. So if you knock the mirror off your bus, stay there. We had instances where I would try to beat the cops there, because the person that got hit would call in. And I would get there and there's no bus there. And they're like, oh no, I know it was a bus, and I have the bus number, bus, I don't know, bus 25, make the bus number. And then I get there and there's no bus. And then guess what, here come the cops. Where's the bus? Oh, the bus went ahead and dropped off the rest of the kids, it's at school. Well, that's leaving the scene of an accident, right? Big violation, guys. So then I have to sit there and try to schmooze these guys, and I don't like doing that. So please just stay there, call me. I promise you, I will come out there and take care of it. We talked about seating charts. Make sure you have them. Do not speed in the school areas. If it says 40 miles an hour, it's for the drivers. If it says 40 miles an hour, don't go above 40 miles an hour. These cameras that Kathy got us, super cool. I can tell exactly the speed you're going. It says right there on camera how fast you guys are going. Okay, so, in your car, away from work, do whatever you want out there. You want to go 43 and a 40, 47 and a 40, I don't care. But in a school bus with kids on it, there's no need to speed whatsoever. Kathy and Chris are not going to care that you're 4 minutes late to a school. Nobody cares. Get your kids home safe, get them to school safe. No speeding, I will be able to tell, and you will get in trouble for that. Especially at the school grounds. When you go to May, let's say we start at Mays Middle to drop off in the morning at 7:10. So we drop off, and then for some reason, everybody's in a big hurry to get from Mays Middle to Mays High. And then you speed up and everybody gets here, and then you're waiting for everybody else to catch up. There's no need to be in a rush. There's no need to be in a rush to drop off your kids and take off to the next school. There's no need for it, guys. There's no need. We have, the drivers, I hear it on the radio, drivers complaining because, hey, they took off and I still have my door open. Guys, look once, look twice, look 3 times, make sure they're ready to go. There's no need for that. Please don't do that, guys. This one's, I love this one. No excessive radio chatter. I don't care if the sky is blue today. We all see it. It's blue. I got it. Or take a ride at the cow when it moves because there's traffic or whatever. Guys, just stop. If it's an accident and people appreciate, hey, there's an accident here, okay, tell everybody there's an accident here. We don't need to know that it's a blue car and a red car. There's just an accident at this place. And then we'll get the other person to say, can you repeat that? Say it. Okay, here we go. And then the next person will say it. So I get that. It's okay. But anything, if you're going to yell at a driver, don't do it. Don't embarrass them, because think if you're on the other end. I didn't have my door closed yet. I mean, how does that sound? Especially if they're talking to you. You're not going to come back and say, oh, I'm sorry I didn't see you, because then you rat yourself out, right? So, but don't do it. It's insulting everybody. Everybody makes mistakes. Just calm down. Come over here, talk to us about it, we'll take care of it. Right? Okay. This happened on the bus last year. And so I'm telling you guys now at the beginning, please be cognizant of this. Try not to do this. Don't insert your personal opinions on these kids whatsoever. Remember, these kids, in the morning, you're the first person they see. You're the last person they see that belongs to Mace. So kids are going to come in and, hey, Mr. John, how are you? Oh, I'm doing good. Hey, did you see what happened in Israel? Yeah, I do. I think all Palestinians should be killed. I think all Israelis should be killed. You know what I mean? That happened last year. Not to that extreme, but it was something where they sided one side or the other. Don't voice your personal opinion with those kids, because guess what? You influence those kids. Believe it or not, those kids care about you. And then they go home and tell mom, who, well, it might be Palestinian, who knows? Well, Mr. John said this, right? So guys, just be real conscious of that. Don't share anything to do with, I would say, religion, sex, that happened last year. You know, kid thought, well, let's ask the bus driver, he's pretty smart. What do you think about premarital sex? You know? The driver gives his personal opinion. And guess what? Little girl goes home, 9th or 10th grade, tells mommy that Mr. John said this, right? So all I'm saying is, you know, if you guys have a little bit of love for me, imagine the call that I have to make to that parent, right? To explain to that, to that parent. And it's not because, you know, Mr. John came and told me, because the parents already called in. I had no idea what they were talking about. It's like, hey, you need to handle this call. Okay? And then to hear that side of it coming through my ear, whoa. And I don't even know who they're talking about yet, you know? So please, guys, keep that kind of stuff to yourself. You know, if you're Catholic and you think you're the only one going to heaven, and then you tell your kids that, it's not a good thing. You don't get involved. Say, listen, that's something I don't feel comfortable talking about. Just tell them straight out, be honest. The honesty is the best way, man. If you just tell me, hey, I'm not going to talk about that, you're just not going to talk about it. Here's one of my favorites in the office. I love this. And, you know, if you guys want, you can defriend me on Facebook. But please don't talk about politics in the office. Don't. I call this the somebody rule. I have a name for somebody here that loves this stuff. Nobody cares, honestly. Nobody cares how you're going to vote. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Nobody cares. You know, stop trying to influence others with your opinion. Nobody cares. Go vote. You know, educate yourself and vote how you want to vote. Stop trying to tell people this. I saw one where, well, so I'll bring this up. And if I offend somebody, that's okay. You know, for you guys on Facebook that wish that the bullet had gone this way to Trump and killed him. You guys are ugly, man. For real. Ugly people. Right? You are. So, and again, if that offends you, okay, but you're ugly. Hold on. For you people that want Biden to fall off the top of the stairs off his airplane, you guys are ugly people. You are. And the fact that you have to put it out on Facebook or somewhere, for what? For what? There's no need for that kind of stuff. Stop being an ugly person. Be super happy like me, always cheerful. Alright, and on that topic, if you're offended by my comments, yes, I'm talking directly at you guys.
Stop that.
So, this one I did name, this rule I did name it because I love the guy. So this one's called the Caesar rule. Where's Caesar at? There it is. The Caesar rule. Don't spread any rumors. Okay? If your sentence has to start with, hey, you know what I heard? Or, I didn't say this, what? Don't do it, Caesar. Don't do it. Little Caesar. That's a good man. You know I'm just messing with you. Don't do it. You know, I heard that Austin, where's Austin? Is he in here? Austin was hanging himself off a cruise ship somewhere in the Caribbean. He was not coming back. Austin didn't love us. He hates us all. He was on Facebook telling us all to go to you know where. So I had to call Austin. I forgot he was in the Caribbean, right? Is that right? I forgot he was there. All of a sudden I'm getting a text back from him in the Caribbean enjoying his family to tell me, no, I am coming back. But you can imagine being disturbed by me, wondering if you're coming back when you're having a great vacation, looking forward to coming back, right? But, I don't know if you heard this, but this is what I heard. Stop doing that. And they're going to talk about this a little later, but I wanted to, Kathy gave me permission to talk about this, so I'm going to do it. Clocking in now, there's no more 7-minute rule. I took advantage of it too, where you clock in at 6:53, you're supposed to be here at 7, or 5:53, you're supposed to be here at 6, and they gave you those 7 minutes to 6, or clock out at 52 and backing it up. Not doing that, it's minute per minute now, okay? So, just be cautious of that. So the other thing is, when you finish your routes, once you get back to the bus stop, we expect you guys, when you drop off your last kid, we expect you guys to be here. Once you're here, you have 15 minutes to clock out. That should give you enough for post-trip. If you need more time, look for Kathy, look for Joy, look for Chris, look for me. Hey, I need more time because I need to do this. You know, a kid threw up and we got to do extra work, or we're fueling up and I need DAP or whatever. It's going to take a little longer. We're going to give you guys permission. We just need to know where you're at because we have to defend against HR. HR's coming down heavy on time. They gave everybody some good raises, decent raises, so they're going to keep track of overtime. We got killed last year in overtime. I mean, killed last year in overtime. Okay? So be cognizant of that. Now, on the opposite end, when you get here in the morning, you're allowed to clock. As far as I'm concerned, you can get here at 3 in the morning. I don't care. You cannot clock in until 15 minutes before you're going to leave the bus barn, right? So 15 minutes before you're going to leave here. So if you're leaving the gate at, I don't want to do math. So if you're leaving the gate at 6:45, you can clock in at 6:30. Does that make sense? Right? So no, guys, remember there's freaking cameras on these buses. With time, you got a little clock on there. It says perfect time. So last year we had this, it ain't gonna happen again, I promise you. Is we have people clocking in early, 5:45, right? And then going home with the bus to their apartment and sitting there for another 30, 35 minutes before they went on the route. No, it's not happening this year. I promise you it's not gonna happen. And if they think that I'm mean, then they can get rid of me, okay? Because it's the fleecing of our department, and we're not gonna have it. Okay. So, a couple more things. I'm gonna try my best this year, guys, is to not have you guys. I know it's tough because we have special needs kids, right? And we love these kids. But I'm gonna try really hard not to have you guys waiting 15, 20, 25 minutes for a kid that hasn't come out of the building yet, okay? Because I know that you guys have other special needs kids on those buses, and they need to get home. And some of them need that air conditioning, and an idle bus with air conditioning is not as cold as a bus running, okay? So if something like that happens, just call me on the radio, I'll have my radio, and if I can, I will come down there, okay? So if a principal is telling you to wait, a parent from the school or teachers telling you, no, you have to wait, you don't have to wait, but let us know what's going on. Okay, don't make that, if there's a conflict, don't make that decision. Leave it up to me, let them yell at me all day, it's okay. If you're picking up a kid and you get to the school, and we have to wait 15, 20 minutes to get the kid off the school, I know a couple of you guys had that last year, can't help you there. You know, be patient, we love these kids, man. That's the #1 rule here. Love these kids, all of them. Be nice. I know it's tough, but be nice. So I can't help you with that, okay? But when you got to go, fortunately this year, I think we have enough drivers and extra paras. Well, I don't know about extra, but I have extra drivers. So if I have to send a van or an extra bus with an extra para to take care of the one kid that wouldn't, you know, come out of the school for whatever reason, then we'll let you guys get on your way. If I have the manpower, we'll let you guys get on your way and we'll come and take care of that, okay? So, I hope that puts a smile on some of you guys. I know it was tough last year. All right, so, 2 last things and I'll get out of the way. So, if I say light bulbs, light bulbs, light bulbs, what does that mean? Does anybody have a clue what that means? So, this is what I live on. I live on light bulbs. If a light bulb goes off in my head, I pause. Because something tells me, I get all tingly inside, you know? And something tells me I need to stop and talk to somebody. right? Because if a teacher's yelling at me and I'm bouncing back and yelling at them, light bulb should go off, right? Right? So let us know, like, oh, this situation isn't right. I'm not asking you guys to not use your brain and make decisions. Make your decisions. We're all big girls and big boys here. Make some decisions. But if a light bulb goes off in your head, call somebody here and we'll take up that for you. Okay? So, no, I hate to give examples, but I think the examples hit home. So last year, we had one where nicest employee we have picked up a student, found out there was no other students writing, was 45 minutes before the bell rung in the morning for that kid for elementary school, and decided to take the kid to breakfast. Right? Super duper nice thing. If it's your grandkid, right? Great suggestion. So the light bulb in my head was off. I'm here with a kid, strange kid, stranger to me at 8 years old, having breakfast. Kid goes home, kid is happy as can be having breakfast. Tells mom, right? And then that call comes in here to the office. What the, you know what are you guys doing about? I'm like, ma'am, what are you talking about? And then they tell me what happened, and I'm like, BS. Nobody here would do that. And then to find out it happened. You know what I mean? So, luckily it all got figured out. So just know, guys, if a light bulb was off, you know, don't do it. Last thing I had, and I just wrote this down on the back here, guys, take pride in your work. I know most of you do. Take pride in it, man. If you know, I talked about this a little bit before. If a principal or somebody else is giving you grief at the school, you know, don't yell back at them. But you don't have to take anything from anybody. And like I told the CDL drivers yesterday, the school does not operate without us. These kids do not get to school without us, right? So take pride in your work and know that you are super duper important to this district. And you know, since I've been here, I'd be damned if I'm gonna let someone talk down to us. And I've heard it before where I heard somebody say, you know, you're just a driver. Really? Really? And that driver took it. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute here. No, we're not doing that. We're not playing this game. So, guys, take pride in it. You guys are super duper important. I'd like to say, finish it off with, I love all of you, but then I'd lie, because there's some of you I can't stand. But I'm fair with everybody. I'm fair. All right? Love you guys.
And that's a great person to follow up with HR.
So he paid me to be the evil HR person, but I think he has a spot on our team if he wants it, because I think he's just as mean as I am.
This is for HR, everybody needs to sign it.
Yeah, unless you want to do this training twice, I would sign in. Also, I appreciate you all, because I've been having to transport my own kid to summer camp this summer. It's a real pain in the butt, guys, so thank you. I also have to feed them breakfast and lunch every day, and that's getting real old real fast, so I'm pretty excited for food service to come back too. All right, I'm Brandy Clark. I'm the Executive Director of Human Resources for the district. And so this morning I get to spend a little bit of time with you all, talk about a few things, and knock out some training. The state requires that all district staff go through a certain training every year. It's all the depressing topics. There's no good way to make this super fun. Although if you've seen on TikTok or Facebook, there's like a couple HR guys that dance and do HR lessons to modern music. It's super cool, but nobody's got time for that. Okay, so you guys get death by PowerPoint instead. And I will make fun of these slides all day long, and the top topics, but know that the content is important. There are important things to learn in these. So, as much as I will throw in snark just like Tony, there is good messages behind all this. So, the first section we're going to talk about is emergency safety interventions, or ESI. This is the use of seclusion or restraint in an emergency situation where the safety of that student or others is at risk. Some of y'all did CPI training yesterday, and you probably learned way more about ESI than I'm going to give you today. But, physical restraint, bodily force used to substantially limit a student's movement. And seclusion, placement of a student for any reason where the conditions are met. They're isolated from other students, and they're prevented from leaving or believe they're prevented from leaving. The reason it's important to know what ESI is and isn't is because there's a lot of state regulations that oversee ESI. We have to fill out paperwork when we use ESI. We have to notify parents the same day. There's lots of rules. It's not bad to use ESI if we have to, but it has to be done appropriately. So right, they're secluded, separated from everybody else. There's no meaningful engagement going on, or they're restrained. In-school suspension, detention, things like that may look like seclusion, right? You're isolated from your peers, you can't leave, but that's not done for an emergency situation, right? Detention is a consequence for an action, so it's not ESI, even though those conditions are met. It's different because it's not used in an emergency situation. Purposeful isolation. No meaningful engagements going on. Some of our schools have isolation rooms. They're like padded rooms that a kid might go to when they're escalated so they can't hurt themselves or the environment. But your school bus could also become an isolation area, right? If for some reason somebody became so escalated that you had to pull over, evacuate everybody else, and there's one kid in there isolated from adults and peers, and you are not meaningfully engaging them, they could be in isolation. It could be a gen ed classroom that we've evacuated everybody else out of, except for that student, right? And so it's not always just that isolation room over there. It could be really any space becomes an isolation area for students. And really, if a kid's that escalated, it's really hard to have any sort of meaningful engagement, right, until they start coming back down. When we do use areas of purposeful isolation, they need to be similar to spaces that other areas that kids would frequent. Physical escort, like if a kid wants to hold your hand as they walk to the bus or the cafeteria, that's not the same thing as physical restraint, right? We try to discourage touching kids. That's just a real good general rule of thumb. We've had a couple things come up the last couple of years, and when they cross my desk, there are things we do as parents that maybe we're not always proud of, but we cannot do as school employees, right? This is the one that gets me. You're talking to a kid and you're like, listen to what I'm saying, and they're like, ooh, and so you grab their chin, go, look at me. Right? Would you be okay if Kathy and Chris grabbed your chin and said, look at me? No, don't do it to a kid. Right? Like if you would not touch your coworkers or another grown-up that way, don't